guys morning people? I'm not morning people. I'm not a morning guy.
I'm more of a night person.
Night person, yeah. How about you?
I'm a night person and a morning person.
Oh, you both? Bueno, genial. ¿Será que podemos ir a otro cuarto? Porque hay un poco de bulla acá.
Pero es que todos están iguales.
Sí, ¿no?
Porque es que está difícil.
Estamos rodeados de música.
Yeah, genial. Bueno, entonces, is a remix, is a mix of all the old songs you guys had? Or?
There's an album called The Remix.
Right, that one.
With different producers. One of them is the Crystal Sparrow, who produces the Sleeping. But we also have Stuart Matthewman, he's the guitarist of Sade, he did a remix. CB Corporation, they're from DC, they did a remix as well. So it's an album of all the remixes.
We were definitely thrilled to come out with that ourselves. I think it was the first release that we did without a record label involved. So it was mostly, we put the music together on our own.
Completely independent.
Yeah, we did. We kind of went back to the basics of how we started, where a lot of the music was more electronic, but it's definitely been a challenge for us because we are doing everything ourselves. So in that respect, it's been successful for us just in the sense that we were able to release something on our own.
And I think creatively we tried some new things. We did a remix of a cover of The Chain, which is originally by Fleetwood Mac. So it was fun to do our first official cover, and we played around with different new sounds that we hadn't tried before.
I noticed you guys mix a lot of electro sound with rock sound. Were you guys always like that? How you guys feel about that? You guys?
Yeah, I mean we've always been into like electronic and like soulful live stuff as well.
Pretty sweet.
It's always adapted though, because when we first started, it was very minimal. It was mostly electronics, but as we grew as a group, it was.
What is it?
As we grew as a group, adapting some of the music to a live element, the music started to change as well. Everybody in the band would sort of give something back to, let's say, an initial sound. And with that, it started becoming a little bit more live. So our second album, as compared to our first, is a little bit more live, where everybody in the band is involved. We took some of the songs, we reworked them because we would play them out. Before we even released the music, we would play them live. And, we would adapt certain things because you'd see a reaction from the crowd or, so I think with the challenge has always been to try to mesh the two, the electronics with the live. And that's something that we still to this
so
day.
It's something you guys been doing for a while, been doing it since the beginning and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because, sometimes as DJs ourselves, like on the side, we both...
You DJ too, that's the thing, it's interesting.
And sometimes it's a different sound of what, let's say, a party atmosphere.
Do DJs create certain type of effects on the computer and then...
I think a lot of DJs just play tracks that are as they are, but some DJs do mess around with effects and kind of do like a little live DJ set.
Right, but they create like little effects back home and then
Carol and myself sometimes will do
a set where we
play.
both DJ, but then I take the mic and I'll sing while he DJs.
And I'll play different sounds from, let's say, the track and cut them and scratch them in, or play samples of her vocal. Let's say if she's singing.
A delay on something.
Yeah.
You shared the stage with James Brown.
Yes.
Did you? When was that? What year was that? That's amazing.
2001, our first big tour with David Byrne. Yeah, I mean
it's amazing. It's a legend. So you got to meet James Brown. How was that, man? Was he like really that happy, just like that, like hyperactive?
What did he say? Is he really that happy?
Yeah, just like hyper. He seems to be like really active and really just like.
He had a lot of energy, definitely.
Yeah.
Always.
Basically, for us, it was so intense to watch somebody who at the time was twice our age, but just artistically and his passion, it's it was amazing to see his crowd reaction, and then the fact that before we would go on, he would come out and introduce us to his audience.
Oh, sure.
So in one respect, it was kind of like, you know,
So
they were opening their arms to us because they already loved David.
So you guys played right after him?
We played before him. We opened for him on a tour back in 2001.
So it was an entire tour?
Yeah.
With him?
With David Byrne from Fox.
What is it?
James Brown.
Oh,
It's okay, it got confusing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said David Byrne.
No, James Brown.
James.
Were you there? Were you there too?
Yes.
Yeah, you were there.
San Diego.
Yeah. Do you guys
shared the stage.
do you guys went to an after party with James Brown and stuff or no?
It was an early show.
Oh.
It was like a festival.
And we were on like a crazy tour where every day we were in a different city. So we basically packed up and got back in the car next city.
So you guys released Gold in an EP, right? In the low play. Do you guys release in the CD as well, or download as well, or all of those formats?
Both. Physical CD and
because most people think that CDs are kind of like passing away. I don't know.
They're phasing out a little bit.
And then I was just reading an article where Billy Corgan, the guy from Smashing Pumpkins, he said that people were having there's so much info out there, so much music in the web that people were having a hard time digesting entire albums of music. So I don't know, maybe the future of music is like releasing song by song singles every once in a while. What do you guys?
That's kind of where we are right now.
I mean,
really?
More and more it's become that. You listen to stuff on iTunes and you only buy the tracks you like.
Yeah.
Rarely do people buy full albums anymore.
Right. How do you guys feel about that? You guys think you're gonna be like producing singles and stuff?
We definitely plan on putting out singles in between EPs, in between albums. Like I think all of the above.
It's really hard because I feel like in the past we've always been like tied to the so-called album.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you work so hard for something to put all your effort into it, and then it's in this one little package, and then you're working with a record label, you're working with management, you're working with all these different people, and by the time that like we're ready to go out there and do it, there's sometimes a disconnect between the label or the timing is different. So I think nowadays, like what you said about how technology has changed a lot.
Especially in the music industry,
It's really open, so it's sort of like I feel more strongly about releasing stuff more regularly, even if it's one song every 2 months or something like that.
I think that's how
stay relevant.
I think that's how it's gonna go, like singles, like every maybe like 3 months or 4 months.
Also, in a sense, exciting because when you're working on a full album, it can take a long time.
Yeah, it's like a year or so.
Those songs are old to use. But when you put a single together and release it soon after you created it, it's exciting and fresh for us as well.
Exactly. It's just really interesting that we, as musicians, we are in that time of evolution, man. It's like after Napster, everything just like started changing so crazy. It's like it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's basically you just got to do it.
Most people are like, oh no, they don't want to get used to the change that like the web is changing a lot of this stuff. But to me, it's just like the weather, how the weather changes. It's like, oh yeah, cool.
And you have to adapt, and the way technology is nowadays.
So you guys are cool about it, just like doing singles or like releasing in downloads, or like whatever.
When you really break it down into a monetary form, it doesn't sound that attractive. When you really break it down, because even we might work on, let's say, a song that may take us months, and then basically it's put onto, it's digitized, and then it's $1. So like for a consumer, because I consume music, it's great because it's so cheap that I can get as many tracks as I want, and not feel like I spent a boatload of money. But at the same time, like for artists that are really relying on that to go out there and to perform and to tour, and it's a balancing act. But the fact that we're able to do it ourselves, partner with companies, let's say, that will help us distribute it, or we'll at least try to get it out there to other outlets that we may not realize, or just the connection we have with iTunes in the past. It's been like incredible, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, it must be tough to like make it as a musician in New York, and I think you guys are pretty recognized in New York. And
I think it's tough, but I think if you are able to do that, it gives you a little confidence about making it in other cities. We're from there, so we have an advantage, you know.
Oh yeah, you think so?
We were born there, so when it came to like starting the band and doing shows, our family and friends, they definitely represented, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, it was you two that started the band. Oh.
And we've been like very fortunate because we have a great following. I mean, New York City for us, even when we don't play, let's say, as much as we would like, you know, I mean, there's so many ins and outs in the industry that I don't, you know, a lot of people don't know about, whether it's a time frame that you know, maybe exclusive to one club to play, and then you kind of have to space it out before you play at another club and stuff. But you know, we could go, let's say, months and then play a show, and the place is full of fans, and that's, to us, that's like it's such a reminder of like really the big payoff of all of this. You know what I'm saying? It's not the money. It's, you know, it's like that's great. If it's there, it helps. You know, granted, but it's mostly when you look out there and you see like Carol will just give the mic to the audience and they can sing a song or know it, and you're like, wow, this is like, you know, being behind the scenes a lot. You're closed up. You're making music. You're in your own world.
You feel that people still remember like everything.
You know?
You know?
You're like, wow, this is amazing. But we're very fortunate to have like a following. You know,
following
I think
crowd,
music nowadays.
Like me, you know, the first time I heard you guys was like 2000 or 2001 or 2. And I still remember your sound. I still remember your music. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, that's part of the reason. Coming back to David Byrne, for instance, who, you know, one of the main artists in Talking Heads. He saw something there. The fact that Carol was singing, you know, in Spanish and in English, and we were mixing trip hop and hip hop and Latin rhythms. It was different, you know. And I think he felt like, this is something cool happening in my backyard. Let me kind of see what I can do for them. You know, I'm not going to promise them the world, but he was cool enough to like allow us to do what we were doing at the time and develop, you know. So that was amazing.